This is ABC15 Mornings.
The tensions with Ukraine could affect your daily life.
We don't see much relief in the near future.
Why gas prices could be about to skyrocket.
A big inflation report comes out this week. How many more pennies will you need to save to make your grocery store budget?
Pulling back mandates.
We have to learn how to live with COVID as we move from a pandemic to the endemic phase.
More states are ditching masks in schools.
Another day, another win.
Okay, with a ring run on the feed from Chris Paul.
The Suns back on the court tonight.
You're going to be the best that ever was. You're going to be the greatest of all time.
And happening live this hour, we are off to Hollywood for the Oscar nominations.
But first, we do want to get you out to breaking news right now. An officer-involved shooting in Mesa this morning.
This is happening near Dobson and University. Our Amelia Fabiano live on scene with the details. Amelia, what are you finding out?
So, Nick, we can confirm that Mesa police are telling us this morning one man is dead. They're calling him the suspect in this situation. It was an officer-involved shooting. As you said, officers shot at this man, and we can confirm he did die from this situation. A very active scene behind us here this morning. You can see North Sycamore here blocked off to traffic. The Sycamore Square apartment complex also blocked off as well this morning, and we're seeing about half a dozen yellow evidence markers all along the road here. I've also had some residents reach out to me. They told me they heard several shots at about 3 o'clock this morning. We've also seen residents trying to leave out here this morning, obviously wondering what's going on. So police on scene did let us know this was a call for some sort of a domestic situation, a family fight that was ensuing when they got this call out here. The man who they're calling the suspect, again, got into some sort of an altercation with officers on scene, and shots were fired at him. Again, we can confirm he died. We don't know if he was transported to the hospital or if he died on scene, and those exact details leading up to that situation. But that's all information we're working to confirm from Mesa PD this morning. We are expecting them to give us an update out here, hopefully within the next half hour or so. And of course, we'll pass along those updates, Nick, as soon as we get them. But a very fluid situation out here this morning.
Our Amelia Fabiano live for us this morning. 6:02, we're staying on top of more breaking news out of Mesa this morning. SRP is reporting nearly 9,000 customers have lost power this morning. This is the outage map I have here behind me. This is near Signal Butte and Guadalupe. To give you a little bit more context, this is east of the Loop 202 Santan and south of the US 60. I can zoom in just a teeny bit. You can see that cluster there. Right now, we're working to figure out what exactly caused these outages. SRP expects it's going to take them at least a few hours to get the power turned back on in this area. We do have a news crew heading to the scene right now. Again, just to give you some more context, east of the Loop 202 Santan, south of the US 60. This is actually just north of Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. So if you're in that area and you've lost power, you are not alone. SRP telling us it's going to be a couple hours, though, before it's turned back on. Let's get over to meteorologist Iris Hermosillo now with a quick look at that most accurate forecast.
You know, the good news is we don't have any freezes this morning, so hopefully that makes it a little bit easier without that power to start the day. But it is a colder morning with temperatures down into the 40s in many of our neighborhoods. So as you get ready to head out the door, just plan on those chilly temperatures. Maybe the heater is on low, at least for your morning drive. Phoenix Sky Harbor was in the 40s, now up to 50 degrees. We're going to hover in the 40s to low 50s over the next couple of hours before a quicker warm up today. Our temperature will climb into the mid 60s by lunchtime. And by the time you're heading home, we're talking a high of 75 degrees. It's going to be a gorgeous day today and warmer than yesterday. Yesterday, we hit my forecast high of 72. Today, we're going to add a few degrees, and essentially that will continue. We'll add a few more degrees tomorrow up to 78, and we could hit the 80s for the first time this year on Thursday as more breezes return too. But that's not the warmest day in that 7-day forecast. I'm going to show you how high those temperatures climb this weekend in just minutes. Megan Thompson, though, keeping us updated on that Tuesday morning drive. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Iris. Good morning to all of you at home as we get a check of traffic sponsored by Accident Law Group. This is a live view of this sluggish, slow and go traffic here on the I-10 eastbound. This is near 43rd Avenue. You notice we do have a stalled vehicle off to the left. At one point that was blocking the HOV lane, causing some of those delays that we are seeing here. So there's that reports of that crash, that stalled vehicle near 43rd Avenue. Your traffic flows are improving, but you notice all of that backup that has built. Also 35th Avenue crash at Virginia Avenue. Checking your desert drive time on the I-10 eastbound from the Loop 303 to the mini stack. That's right around 50 miles per hour, close to 30 minutes, which means when I checked in with you with Traffic Predictor in the last half hour or so, it is spot on. So checking again at 6:30, we see those speeds dropping just a little bit further on average on the I-10 eastbound from the Loop 303 to the mini stack, below that 40 or 50 mile per hour range. Nick?
6:04, more top headlines right now. A man suspected in a stabbing, shot and killed by Phoenix police. Officers were responding to calls about a woman being stabbed near 27th Avenue in McDowell Monday. They say the man was still holding a knife and refused to drop it. That's when officers opened fire. That woman who was stabbed is in critical condition this morning, and police believe she knew the suspect.
We are learning more about the two teenagers shot in Phoenix just before midnight Monday. Police telling us a 16-year-old girl has died from her injuries. She was in a car with an 18-year-old man near 65th Avenue in Thomas when they were shot. Investigators are still searching for whomever pulled the trigger.
Happening today, Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman will deliver the annual State of Education address. She'll be speaking for the Senate Education Committee starting at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Hoffman says she plans to call on lawmakers to adjust or repeal the spending cap for schools. If nothing is done by March 1st, districts could face layoffs and program cuts.
Well, new COVID-19 cases are declining or stable in all 50 states, and that's prompting some leaders to start rolling back pandemic rules. California is ending its indoor mask mandate next week, but they will still be required in schools. Delaware, Connecticut, Oregon, all announcing plans to end mask mandates for schools. Health experts, some of them are arguing leaders should hold off until more kids are vaccinated.
Vaccination rates are the lowest in individuals under age 40. We're going to see school-based outbreaks at a time when we're trying to return to normal, but we're actively making decisions that go against that.
But right now, only about 39% of eligible children are vaccinated.
6:06 Super Bowl Sunday is almost here, and as we get closer to the big game, there are people pushing to move the next Super Bowl out of Arizona. More than 200 faith leaders, including 36 from Arizona, signed onto a letter to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. They're citing the voter suppression bills that state lawmakers passed last year and new ones they're pushing for this year. Speaker of the House Rusty Bowers says attempts to move the Super Bowl should wait until the legislature considers the bills. We reached out to the commissioner, and we're still waiting for a response. This week, ASU will make a pitch to the Board of Regents to temporarily share their new hockey arena with the Coyotes. That meeting is scheduled for Thursday. The Yotes hoping to play home games there through 2025 and would spend millions of dollars on upgrades so the venue meets NHL standards.
Well, the WM Phoenix Open continues today at TPC Scottsdale. It's a Ford-free day, and that means you can get in for free. Maybe watch the pros do some practice rounds, and the Annexus Pro-Am. That happens tomorrow with big names on the list like Michael Phelps, Aaron Rodgers, just added to the lineup. Favorites Larry Fitzgerald and Emmitt Smith will also be out there.
Devin Booker putting up 38 points as our Suns win again. They took on the Bulls. Yeah, took them by the horns last night in Chicago, really.
And tonight, the Suns are going to be in Philly against the 76ers. Then they're going to come on back home for an NBA Finals rematch against those Milwaukee Bucks.
I smell a victory. Next on ABC15 Mornings, the labor market getting stronger, but inflation likely to spike yet again in just 5 minutes. We head live to D.C. to look at the good and bad of the current economy.
10 movies will be announced for Best Picture. We're going to take you to Tinseltown as the nominees will be announced for the 94th Annual Academy Awards, which will be airing right here on ABC 15.
Plus, how would you like to lose 25 pounds without dieting and no exercise? Still to come, it's possible, and it doesn't include a magic pill.
Well, I was going to take you live outside with one of our ADOT cameras, but this is the US 16 Mill overpass where we have a crash. We'll get a check of those desert drive times coming up.
Catching you up on your Tuesday morning headlines here at 6:12. The parents of the teenager accused in a deadly school shooting in Michigan They have a hearing today about the possibility of a trial. James and Jennifer Crumbly are charged with involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say they left a gun accessible to their 15-year-old son, and they are also accused of failing to intervene when he showed signs of mental distress. The CDC is updating its guidance for those COVID booster shots. The agency is encouraging people who have weakened immune systems to get a fourth shot 3 months after their third dose. Well, a first-of-its-kind study by the National Association of Realtors is showing the combination of surging home prices and lack of investors are making it really hard for everyone but the wealthiest Americans to purchase a home. The middle class taking the biggest hit to its buying power over the past 2 years. Oh boy, we could do a lot with this. We don't talk about Bruno. Oh no, it's making history. The hit song from the movie Encanto is #1 again on the Billboard Hot 100 Singles chart. And it's the first time ever a Disney song has topped the chart for several weeks.
6:13 on a Tuesday. From the economy to the path forward from 2020. So much is happening in Arizona politics and at our nation's capital this morning. Our chief political correspondent, Joe St. George, is joining us live from Washington right now. Joe, mixed news on the economy. That January jobs report really exceeding expectations, but we're also dealing with record inflation. It's what everyone's talking about right now. I know another key report will be released this week. So what are experts predicting?
Well, another grim report is expected, and we've been talking about this for several months, Nick. On Thursday, the Consumer Price Index will be released. The consensus among economists, not just in Arizona, but around the country, is that it's going to be another grim report, likely a 30, 40-year inflation high. What does that mean? It means continued sticker shock at the grocery store in the Valley when you're trying to buy ground beef, you're trying to buy a used car. It's certainly been high as well. I think we have a map we can show you of where Arizona compares. And again, grim. Arizona, one of the darker red states, one of the worst states for inflation compared to the coast, which hasn't been hit as hard, although all corners of the country have been impacted by inflation. As far as when relief's going to be coming, Nick, there's differing views as to what economists are thinking. President Biden's top economic advisor telling us last week the forecast she's looking at is sometimes towards the end of this year. But remember, Nick, a year ago, you and I were talking about how they're saying that this would only be temporary, only a few months. It's certainly not temporary. This is a longer period of inflation than a lot of economists said 1 year ago.
Yeah, it could take longer to adjust as well. Oh, this week, an Arizona Republican state lawmaker introduced a bill to throw out the 2020 election results from several key counties, including Maricopa County. Now, there are Republicans here who want to relitigate 2020, but there are others who want to move on and focus on 2022, focus on the presidential race in 2024. The party seems really split right now. Is that what you're seeing in D.C. as well?
Well, there's one belief that relitigating, if you will, the 2020 election is a way of rallying one section of the base. But there are other political strategists in Arizona with a big Senate race, big elections coming later this year, say, let's focus on some other issues like inflation, like the border, issues that perhaps may impact Arizona voters a lot more than election results from 2 years ago. So definitely competing strategies within the party. Senator Mark Kelly, his Democratic team in Arizona, would certainly love the idea of trying to bring up 2020, January 6th again. But a lot of Republican strategists want to keep this focused on the economy, inflation, the border. They think that maybe is a winning message as we get closer to the 2022 midterm election this November, Nick.
Yeah, those kitchen table issues, of course. And you're right, just months away from that November election. Our Joe St. George live for us in D.C. this morning.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
Let's get a time check for you. 6:16 if you're about to run out the door. Here's what you need to know about those roads. So you see the US 60 looks really great. We do have a crash, though, on the US 60 near Mill Avenue, but this is actually on the overpass. You'll notice that there's a tow truck on scene in that area. Your desert drive time on the freeway itself does look good from the 202 to the 10. Right around 16 minutes is what we're looking at. Checking in on the northern half of the valley, the 17, the 101, the 51 looking good right now. We're really seeing that slowing start to begin, though, on spots like the I-10 eastbound. We have a crash off the freeway in this area, 35th Avenue and Virginia. But here's that slowing that I was telling you about, including on the Loop 101 Agua Fria as you're making your way onto that I-10 interchange. So your desert drive time on the I-17 southbound from the stack as you're making your way to the split. Right now, we're dropping that average speed to about 50 to 55 miles per hour with a drive time climbing climbing ever so slightly to about 7 minutes. And we see those speeds right around 34 miles per hour on the I-10 eastbound as you're passing the Loop 101. The West Valley, you're still checking in with perfect speeds right at the speed limit at 65 miles per hour. Now, we have seen that impact your desert drive time just a little bit on the I-10 eastbound from the Loop 303 to the mini stack. Remember, we had a crash, a stalled vehicle in that area, causing this to dip already into the yellow at 26 minutes for you. 12 minutes there on the 17 and the 51, 13 minutes for desert drive time. Kaylee.
Okay. It's a big morning, especially so in Hollywood, because happening there, well, it's time to find out who is going to be up for a movie's biggest awards. Of course, the Academy Awards. And we know that Tracee Ellis Ross and also Leslie Jordan are announcing the nominations for this year's Oscars. And as soon as we know that they're up, we're still waiting for them to come up in Hollywood, we will take you there. But we continue to check in to see how all of this is going to go. We also want to remind you that ABC15 is your home for the Academy Awards, and it will be the 94th Academy Awards show on Sunday, March 27th. And it looks like we have a signal. Let's listen in.
But movies really live wherever you come together, in theaters or in your homes, to share great stories told on the screen. And today we celebrate that, thanks to the nearly 9,500 voting members of the Academy. They're movie makers, sure, but really movie lovers about to share the films they've loved the most this year. I hope you're doing the same with your friends and your family. Now's the time. Movie lovers unite. Let's meet your announcement hosts, Tracee Ellis Ross and Leslie Jordan.
I am so excited. I went to sleep dressed like this. Now let's go to the Oscars, Tracee. What time are you picking me up?
Uh-oh, Leslie, someone did not read the memo. The Oscars are not tonight. They're on March 27th. This morning, we just announced the nominees.
This is why I hate being hunkered down. I never know what day it is or month. But if it's not the Oscars, why are you dressed so nice?
Oh, this old thing? This is my workout outfit, Leslie. I just threw this on to go to cycling class in an hour. All right. This year's Oscars theme is Movie Lovers Unite. And during this next half hour, we will be joined by some very special movie lovers across the country to help us announce some of the nominees. Are you ready, Leslie?
Wait, I'll be right back. This outfit, it doesn't feel right for the Oscar announcements.
Okay. All right. Well, Oscar nominees in most categories are chosen by members of their respective branches, but nominees for Best Picture are chosen by the entire Academy membership. And if you stay tuned to find out how this year you, the fans, will be able to get to vote for your favorite movie and movie moment featured on the Oscar telecast.
Now I'm ready. I love it. Understated and traditional.
Very much understated.
Here are the nominees for performance by an actress in a supporting role.
Jessie Buckley in The Lost Daughter. Ariana DeBose in West Side Story. Judi Dench in Belfast. Kirsten Dunst in Power of the Dog. And Ingenue Ellis in King Richard.
My turn. Here are the nominees for achievement in costume.
All right, so again,
design.
getting a taste of what will be coming our way for the 94th Annual Academy Awards right here on ABC15, March 27th. Losing weight and feeling great. That sounds good on a Tuesday, right? It's got a nice little rhyme to it. Ahead at 6:25, how you can change your life by simply getting more Z's.
Plus, the pandemic has changed just about everything. Coming up at 6:35, how to rework that resume and find a new career.
Then those cashback apps, you know what we're talking about. They're so popular. But which are the best? At 6:45, the Let Joe Know team looks at what could work for your bank account.
And at 6:49, we're live in the Valley because the weather is perfect this time of year. Meteorologist Iris Hermosillo is back with that super 7-day forecast. 6:24, so new research finds getting just a little bit more sleep, just a little bit more, can help you lose weight. The study asked 80 young overweight adults who typically slept less than 6 hours a night to try to sleep about 8.5 hours a night for 2 weeks. At the end of this, many decreased their caloric intake by an average of 270 calories a day. Researchers say that could translate to losing 26 pounds over a 3-year period. How about that?
That's incredible. Okay, fun, free, and fresh. Those are the words to describe what is on your Tuesday morning bulletin board this weekend. You could head to Old Town Peoria for Second Saturday, and this month's theme is Fresh Fest. The first 100 people are going to get fresh flowers for free, and you can also check out the live cooking demonstrations, the music, the pottery demos, and live blacksmithing entertainment there. There will also be food, drinks, art, all kinds of goods from local vendors. It runs from 5 to 9. For more details, just head to peoriaaz.gov. Serving up some fresh fun and entertainment. That's today's bulletin board.
Also, this is a new Asian fusion restaurant in Scottsdale serving up all kinds of delicious creations. Buddha's Ritual, located at Soho Scottsdale, right down the street from Westworld. Co-owner Scott McIntyre showing off some of their signature menu items for us. Look at this. Okay, they have a kimchi mac and cheese. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. Chicken katsu flyer and croffles, which is a cross between a croissant and a waffle. Sign me up.
Well, coming up next for you at 6:30, highlighting a history-making Arizonan. We're going to introduce you to Ara Hackett, the first Black woman to own a newspaper in our state, and the legacy she leaves behind.
And a confirmed officer-involved shooting in Mesa. One man is dead. We're getting an update from police right after the break.
Also, has it been a while since you dusted off the old resume? If you're one of the millions of Americans looking for a new job, there are some modern day tweaks you probably want to make, including how to handle your vaccination status and working remotely. I've got 5 changes you should be making to land that interview coming up.
Temperatures are trending up. Today, a few degrees warmer than yesterday, up to 75 degrees. We'll talk about how quickly we'll get there and how much warmer it's going to be in that super 7-day forecast.